Greetings everyone and welcome to yet another Lost Caverns of Ixalan draft with a pack that has actually uh, 3 good uncommons and a very good rare, double colored though, but still very good rare, and then even the commons have some solid role players like the Scout here, the Sunscribe here, Etalis Favor, and the River Herald Guide are all cards you are happy to play in their respective index that have their respective colors. Now the actual question here is, first of all, is the Duskross Reliquary better than the blue uncommons, and if you would take a blue uncommon, which one would it be? I think I would prefer the Staunch Crewmate, because this doesn't need to have as many artifacts as this thing. I guess it depends on, but I think I'd rather take the creature that can be a 2-for-1. And I think I would take the Crewmate over the Reliquary, but I also think I'm going to take the Animpakal, because this is just a very, very strong card if you can make it work. Now, being 2 colors as a pack one, pick one situation, and maybe a card I'm not that excited in splashing. Depends on how many ways to splash I get. If I'm, let's say, red-green, well, basically any other red deck except for red-white. Because red has some treasure production, but if I'm like white-blue, it's gonna be harder to splash the Animpakal. But let's just try to make this deck into straight up red-white deck, and I can play this extremely strong card. And I will take the Vanguard of the Rose. It's the best card, I think. I will take it over the Get Lost. I really don't like giving the map tokens, and this is just a very solid 2-drop, which I'm happy to have in any white deck. And I can stay on course. And I think the decision is not the Tinker's Toad, but it's between these 2 red uncommons, and I like the Pickaxe slightly more than the Dreadmoss Eye this early in the draft. This can be really good, especially against artifact heavy decks, which there are plenty in this format. But this is just a very, very solid equipment. Helps, with splashing, for instance. If I don't get to be red-white, it's one way to splash the Animpakal. Alright, let's pick this one. And I'm still happy with this pack. I can pick a red card. There's a decent green card here and here, but it's going to be the Plundering Pirate, I think, over the Idol of the Deep King. Yes. And I guess I will be red-white because I'm getting a pick 5, which still has a Miner's Guide Wing. The Goblin Tomb Raider wouldn't be that bad, but this is the better pick here. I think I like the Flying Vigilance Explore Death Trigger more than the Tomb Raider. And here I can still take a playable. The Rumbling Rockslide is a card you can play at least as one copy pretty easily in your decks. This pack has actually 3 decent blue cards. I don't like the Reminiscence that much, but the Blunder, Scout, and the Wrestler are all totally reasonable cards to be played. Now my choice though, I think it's gonna be one of the 2-drops, and no, it's not gonna be the Dowsing Device. I don't like this card that much. The 1-4 that hates their artifacts, or just a more aggressive card. I think I like in this deck the 2-2 rather than the 1-4. So I'll take that. And another Dismantler, but I'm not necessarily taking that. I think I might just take the Altisar from this pack. I always like to have one of those. It's a expensive card, but I think it's worth the 5 mana. Another River Herald Scout goes pretty late here. No, this actually doesn't trigger if this only triggers when a non-gnome creature attacks, so let's not take too many gnomes because of the Animpakal. I don't like the Soaring Sandwing that much. I think I'll take these as a sideboard card against the guards. They do turn into lands, which I can destroy with this. Okay, how what to do here? I don't like the Hotfoot Gnome, like at all. It's also a gnome, which doesn't synergize with Animpakal. I think out of these I'd rather take the Daring Discovery. I don't usually play it, but I don't like the 3-1 guy either. Just take something here. Okay, this is a decent one. I could take any of these. I like the 6-5 Land Cycler, but this isn't bad. I actually take this 3-drop still. Okay, well, if I knew I'm gonna get another one, maybe I wouldn't have taken, but this was a good pack one. I started with a white and red rare, and I got white and red being passed to me as being the open, at least relatively open colors. Here I'm just going to take another Vanguard of the Rose. Easy pick because the other options are not that great. Yep, let's take it. How about this pack? Well, it definitely has some good cards for other colors. There's the Paleontologist, Crewmate, Frog. But there's a fine card for me. I like the Deconstruction Hammer enough to be playing it, and I'll just take it basically over the Monstrosaur, which would be my second choice from this pack. Well, this pack has again a very good blue card in here. Of course, this red-green card is good, but it's not really a reason to abandon Bite somehow. And it's not the card I would be splashing. So there's like well, I'm not taking a third copy of these Envoys. The Minecart, Landmark, Dinotomaton. Not many artifacts in here, so I don't think I like this too much, but I do like the Dinotomaton, so let's take that. It's my first 4-drop creature. I have one 4-drop spell otherwise. And a weak-ish pack, but I suppose the Conservator can be played. Well, it's not that weak of a pack because there's this Battle Cliff and the Scout, which are fine, but for my colors it's gonna be the Conservator. Sahelis Lattice, it's not gonna be picked over the Vandercliff or the... I have what? 2 dinos. Or the Plundering Pirate, and I think with the lack of 2s here, I'm gonna choose the Vandercliff this time. And this is not a good pack. I don't care about the companion. I have one family reunion, so I'm not taking another one. I'll just take uncommon to maximize vault gains. I don't think I need 3 of these envoys, so I'll take the Seismic Monstrosaur now. And here I can take a Goblin Tomb Raider, which I'm not sure yet if I can be playing. I have 5 artifacts and I guess some creatures that make artifacts, but it's a good pickup now and I can decide later whether it's worth playing. Not gonna pick any of these. I'll take the Hidden Courtyard though. That's a fine pickup here. I don't think I'm playing 2 Monstrosaurs. Not gonna play the Buried Treasure. I'll take this uncommon. I have no intention to play that card though. Here I can just take the best card away from the draft pool. Hate drafting doesn't really matter too much in these non-pod drafts, but I mean, I had to take something out of that pack regardless. And who knows, maybe I will be paired against the same person that's in this same draft. Okay, that's blank. That's a blank pack for me. And this is a blank pack for me. But I have, what, 17 playables there. I guess something in the sideboard I can really play if I wouldn't get enough of them. But I have entire pack 3 left here, so I'm not worried about the number of playables. Well, that's a splashable card for sure. Now, yeah, this comes down to basically 3 options. I don't like the Gnome or the third copy of the Envoy. You could take the Idol, you could take a Helping Hand, but there's a Paladin's Hatcher. Now I need to check the number of treasure generating. It's only 1 and 2 right now. It's not an amount I'm too happy about. But I can see not playing the Idol and giving a chance to this Paladin's Hatcher. So I'm gonna take it now and hope to find some other ways to splash. doesn't require that much more things. Now this is a good pack, of course. I think I'm gonna take either the Guidewing or the Triumphant Chomp. 15 creatures, 3 non-creatures, and I have some dinos, so I think I should take the Chomp over the Guidewing, but you could even choose the other way around. But I have no upgrades, no Sunfire Torch, no Idol of the Deep King. I'm gonna take the removal spell out of this pack now. It's a shame to pass a Guidewing, but what can you do? Okay, I was looking at the Captivating Cave, but this makes the Paladin's Hatcher a 6-drop, basically, in order to get green out of this. And there's a very good other option, Plundering Pirate. It just gives you the 1 treasure. I'm unlikely to play anything else from green, so any treasure generating will be just meant for the Hatcher. So I'm gonna take the Pirate here instead of the Cave or stuff like Tinker's Toad. And here, sadly, no way to splash. There's a Throne of the Grim Captain, which I'm not gonna pick, of course. Yeah, how many artifacts that was? 5. I don't like the landmark. Do I not want to play another Deconstruction Hammer? I don't need a 3-drop here, so it's gonna be like Deconstruction Hammer or just 20 gems. I think I take 20 gems. I don't need another copy of the hammer. Fixing, no fixing here, but there's a decent selection of options. I think I still take the 2-drop. Yeah, I definitely want to have a 2-drop, so the Aspirant will be mine. Come on, fixing. Okay, there's an Ancestor's Aid that also generates, hopefully, at least a treasure token. So that's, I think, enough for the Paladin's Hatcher to work now. Etali's Favor, Whirlpool, and the Vandercliff. I might actually even take the Whirlpool now. I have a lot of creatures, not so many ways to deal with creatures. I wouldn't mind the Vandercliff, but I think I have enough early plays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and some 1-drops. I'll take the Whirlpool now. And there's a Tomb Raider, Bat Colony. I'm not gonna splash for the Cudgel. I don't know if I'm going to play 2 Tomb Raiders, but wait a minute. Actually, okay, this bugged now. I can't click anything here for some reason. Okay, now I can. I take the Tectonic Hazard for sideboard. I don't know what happened there, but I the game did not react to my mouse clicks there, but hopefully, gladly I got the card I actually thought about from that pack. The sideboard card, Tectonic Hazard. Here I can take the Helping Hand. Oh, what the? I got the Guidewing. Isn't this the pack from which I took the Chomp and I got the Guidewing as well? Nice. That was nice. Alright, so I don't need to I'm not sure if I care about. Well, I'm taking the Crack Shot, but I don't think I'm gonna play that many of them. Landmark, is that still gonna be? Not a lot of artifacts. I'll take the Unway, but I'll cut that. Let's have another Helping Hand. And that is that, and there is the final. Couple of Pirate Hats as the last picks. That's weird. Yep. So. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 2-drops. 6 3-drops. How many ways to splash? Pickaxe is 1. This is 2. 3 and 4. So that's 4 ways to make a treasure token. No other way to splash unless I play the main deck Volatile Vault. But this doesn't even give me the treasure if I choose if the opponent doesn't have a non-basic land. Yeah, I'd rather this be the the actual common land that can get you a basic land, so I could play one forest in the deck. But I think I have to have this. Well, I basically can if I draw one of the four cards, and assuming the 8 will not fail to resolve. These are ways to make a treasure token, which I can save until I draw the hatcher, or I have to use them for something else. So I'm going to play the hatcher. It's of course an incredibly strong card. How many dinos that's in total? That is 4 dinos, all of which have more than 2 power, which means that the Triumphant Jump can deal for 5 or 6 damage also sometimes. Yeah, I need to cut, of course, some cards. I think the one Envoy here is easy choice, and one Crack Shot is another easy choice. I think I'll play the Conservator. This is now 5 artifacts, and how many cards that make me an artifact? I mean that are not already artifacts. Like the pickaxe doesn't count. I'm interested in it because of the Tomb Raider here. 1, well, 2, 3, and this is like very slow way to get it. I don't think it's worth running the Tomb Raider. This is gonna be a 1, 2 way too often. I need to make some cuts. Anyway, so I think I'll cut one of the helping hands. There's a bunch of good cards to return. I'm actually happy to return also the 1-drop flyers. And of course anything that costs more than 1 is nice to return by just paying 1 mana. So I could see even playing 2 of those helping hands. But in that case, what would be my cut? Because I'm not playing 15. I think I'll play 16 plus the Monstrosaur. So that's gonna be kinda 17 lands. And there's some of the treasure token generating also. I think it's going to be between the Conservator or maybe the second Crack Shot and then the helping hand. It's gonna be one of them. Now this is only 6 2-mana creatures, so I think it should be the helping hand, just to make sure that I have a fairly, consistent curving out potential. 6 2-drops doesn't obviously mean that I will have one in every game, but it's gonna be somewhat often the case. So yeah, this is it now. 17 creatures, although this kinda counts as a creature too. Not a lot of removal, but some removal. I have this Animpakal. Oh, this is a gnome. Is that gonna be the kind of a tiebreaker here? I don't need this to be an artifact actually anymore because I'm not playing the Tomb Raider. I really don't want to have any gnomes. Other than the tokens, of course. This also makes the gnome tokens, but this is still 2 gnomes in the deck. What's the other one? What is a gnome in here? Other than the Conservator. Wait a second. That should be a trivial thing. Oh, this is a dinosaur gnome? What? So this actually won't trigger this. 1 or 1 non. Yeah, that's actually something to keep in mind. I wouldn't have realized that until it's too late. So this won't trigger Animpakal. I'm still playing the Dino Automaton because it's... I don't have really any other 4-drop creature and it's a pretty good one at that. Alright, well I'm gonna cut the Conservator and I think I'll put back in maybe just a Crack Shot. Yeah, I wanna have the 6 2-drops here, so that's it now. 12 and 13, so it's easy mana here. I don't need to play a forest because I do have the I do have the treasures that I can use to cast the Hatcher. This is it, 8/8 mana base, and I suppose this is the main deck. I don't have a lot of sideboard options, but we'll see if that's gonna be relevant. Tectonic Hazard. daring discovery in some cases I could see sideboarding it in, but it's not a very likely scenario. But yes, this is the main deck. Well, that is what I call a pretty good curve out. With the flyer here, this on turn 2, and then on turn 3 I can play and equip, whichever is gonna be the more reasonable thing to equip, although I guess now I can just play the pirate instead. It's still possible that I will play and equip this if they have like a 2-power creature here, which they don't, so I better add more creatures to the battlefield now. They do this on their own turn. That actually isn't really a good idea, because they might want to see what happens now on my turn, and then, you know, their choice will be, it will be affected if they have 2 like things that they could consider taking either one of those. They better get the information first. Alright, so here I can just equip the guide wing. Now I guess there's a chance to, no, I don't mind if they do any kind of block here. I suppose I can still use this ability, but let's make the trade instead. Decline. And if they now block and trade, then I have the whirlpool still for the next thing. I guess I'm gonna let this guy explore, because he's slightly more valuable now thanks to the... Oh, that's a good one. Thanks to the, you know, the ability it has. I can burn one of my treasures by doing this equipping here. What? They actually just conceded there. I mean, they are at 11. But I suppose they had nothing for the next turn then. Yeah, the crackshot can, you know, tap down the 1 blocker they would have, and it's, what, 7 damage, they go to 4. Well, okay, I didn't see a lot, but they're green-blue, isn't that the case? Based on the lands, yep. Well, I don't have much reason to do any sideboarding. I didn't even see a lot. Yeah, let's keep the same deck. Opponent mulligan. I'm gonna keep it. It's only a plains hand. Well, they go to 5. But I have, 3 castable spells regardless of what I draw. And with 1 mountain, this becomes immediately playable. So it should be a fine keep. And of course, now that I am up against the mull to 5, this might be... Well, depends on their start, of course. You can have a good start when you mull to 5. I'm gonna just play this. There's not really much sacrifice for there, so I'm willing to trade with whatever their 3-drop is, if it's, well, not with every 3-drop, but this makes sense. And remember, they did mull to 5, so that's the reason they are not having much going on, and that was one of the fastest matches in a time, in some time I have had. On the play with a good hand, no 2-drop, but totally. It's always great to start when you are on the play and start with a guide wing, which can just deal a few points of damage by itself before the opponent can start matching the plays. I'm happy to trade with Sentry, because I can just bring this back with the helping hand. Even get okay, actually that's not gonna, there's not gonna be a trade happening. I can double block it, but that is not what I'm gonna do. But I could exile this thing actually. Oh, let's do our own thing in here. I don't know which one, maybe here. I actually could have considered playing an untapped land just in case I want to use the whirlpool, but it's quite unlikely that I would want to do that. Okay, but they do get another artifact, so they can continue the race here. And they have also 3 mana available. They might go for a... Okay, well, they didn't go for anything. Well, this is of course a decent attack. I have even the whirlpool. I have a castable at an untapped creature, but there's also of course the Ancestors' Aid, and they can also just choose to not do anything. I mean, I think I'll do the courtyard. It's only gonna spend one of my treasures. Okay, Guidewing is just a 1 mana thing, but it is something I could... If I want to, I can do the Ancestors' Aid here. Let's see if they have a treasure, I mean any artifact, so that they can attack with the sentry again. Waylaying Pirates, I'm sure they're gonna keep that. Please don't have an artifact. That's what is gonna be important. Okay, so this thing of course... I could use the Ancestors' Aid here, but I think I'm not gonna do that. I could double block, even like try to suggest a double trade here, but I'll just take 3 here. I think I can go to 9. It's too risky to place the trick into their open mana when they have so many cards in their hand. So, Deconstruction Hammer. I think I'm going to leave this guy just to block, maybe. Attack for 4 in the air. Have all my tricks up. Upgrade on the creature, so this thing is indestructible, so I can't kill it with the hammer. I let that thing happen, and I think I'm also going to explore with this so it can deal an extra point of damage, and I will keep the Dino Automaton in there. Deal 3, and I can equip... Am I supposed to use the Helping Hand this turn? Well, I'm gonna do this regardless. This does mean that I have no longer... No, I can actually have still both these if I first cast the Ancestors' Aid. Yeah, I'm not gonna use the Helping Hand on the 1/1 now. They will be able to tap down something, so... But they also hopefully won't be able to cast this and an artifact. Now they do have access to 7 mana, so they still have 3 mana left over when they cast this and tap something down. But it's gonna be really important that... I mean, a big difference whether they can attack with these sentries or not. So that thing is like that, and then land, and they're gonna equip. Sure. They can do the equip then. I'm gonna whirlpool that. And now I have a pretty good attack because I have the Ancestors' Aid. I can move this. I don't need to give this guy. No, they actually... No, they can just block with the pirates anyway. Yeah, sadly, yeah, this is not up now. I think I'll just use them. Yeah, I'll do the attack and they will block with, I guess with the sentry there. Then I use my helping hand. I can play the Dino Automaton and I will of course do that. I can block the pirates then with my Dino Automaton. This thing will return tapped from that. Yeah, I do think it makes sense. I know I could have made this into 4 toughness creature. Then they are forced to block with this, or I guess they would just block with double sentries, but then it would be quite good to use the Ancestor's Aid there, but then I couldn't cast the Dino Automaton. So let's just do this and make them block with a sentry. I guess this also makes it possible that they don't block at all, and then the Ancestor's Aid is just gonna be a winning play. I'm not gonna play around. They could have a Clockwork Wrestler still. I guess in that case they're definitely blocking if they have a Wrestler. But if they choose not to block, I will go with the Aid now. Oh, they chose that line. Well, that actually makes things a lot more different, because now I can get this just like this. Okay, that was very good. Didn't expect them to double block there, but thank you for that. And now I can do this. Okay, there's Etalis Favor into Sickness. What is that Etalis Favor? Now I have to... actually, if they have only a land in their hand, they are still not winning, but I have to, you know... oh boy. I have to block if they attack with both. Is this also gonna be a spell in their hand? Wow. If Etalis Favor into Zodiac Cliff when they have this treasury, as a target. I guess they also had the pickaxe which they could have targeted. But that was pretty ridiculous. I guess they're not gonna have a kill spell on the Dino Automaton because they would just win, so that's not what they have. So that's not gonna be an upgrade, not gonna be a bounce spell. They want to get mana and get the Waterwind Scout, so they needed the 4th mana here. That's interesting choice actually. Very interesting choice. So they have to have a 4 mana card in their hand. That barely makes sense. No. No, I don't. That wasn't so impressive Exotic Cliff at all. I guess they weren't gonna attack. No, sorry, this is gonna be, well, this is not the defender one. Okay, there's an Animpa Cult too. This can target my Miner's Guidewing. I mean, this helping hand. So, what's the play? What is the play here? I want to attack with the Guidewing. I'm gonna have an attacker here. X is the number of counters on this guy, so yeah, this is gonna happen regardless. Now if I attack with everything, they're gonna get 1 attacker here. This needs to be blocked by 2, and then they will lose. Is there a reason to... I guess this is just gonna be it. This should be a victory if they have nothing in their hand. Yeah. And it's really not gonna be any interaction because they had the opening on their own turn to get rid of my only blocker and then attack for lethal with the Zodiac Cliff and this guy. So that definitely wasn't like a kill spell or a bounce spell. Alright. Yes, there is that kind of stuff. And what does it mean for me? Tectonic hazard. I saw nothing that it's gonna kill, so let's not use that. Any reason to make some changes in here, like the crack shot? Would I rather have the helping hand? Would I want to do something here? I don't think so, really. I'm pretty happy with this as it is, so let's use the same deck. Well, look at this hand. Now, if I can only draw a 3-drop, I could go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sentry, that's fine. I can even just block with the Vanguard here if I feel that's something I want to do. Am I supposed to do it now, though? I can't attack with the Guide Wing. On the next turn, I'm going to use... yeah, okay, I'm gonna do this. Okay, that's not a bad one. I'm gonna whirlpool this thing away. I didn't wait until end step because I was going to use it on the tapped creature regardless. I have the rock slide for another creature anyway. Okay, that Predator Net can draw them a bunch of cards, so that can be dangerous if they get more artifacts. And craft this thing. And they can lock down the Dino Automaton now for a while. I think it's... Okay, well that's not a bad draw at all. I'm gonna use the Aspirant and target the Guide Wing, because they're not taking the 4 from the Dino here. At least I want to deal 2 here. Okay, that is totally fine. Let's give this Aspirant the Explorer trigger then. I mean, upgrade on a Guide Wing, that's really actually fine. Okay, let's try to attack, which they are not gonna let happen. And I draw the land, so the 6/5 trample is a reality. And also this has a pretty relevant ability. If I keep drawing lands, I can trade them into actual, further draws. The opponent doesn't seem to have too much going on. They played no creature. Could have like a Cockwork Wrestler, which they do, but it doesn't even kill the Aspirant unless they have something else too. But why would they even be that interested in killing a 1/2 creature? So they have one more tap effect up. But that's now a bunch of artifacts, but I am going to get rid of this guy. So crafting this costs 4 and then it costs, 2 and then it costs 4 to use. So I guess they have no artifact in the graveyard. So if they now craft this on their next turn, I mean, they would have to use one of these artifacts. And then this would draw them 3 cards, but that would take their entire turn. I am gonna play the Altisor this turn. I can attack with... I'll just do this. No reason to. They can actually double block the aspirant, and I'm quite convinced they are not gonna double block the Dino-Automaton, because that would allow me to eat the Nautilus. If they pump it, I'm gonna eat both of them, and then I don't care about the card drawing here anymore. So they can tap out, or almost tap out, to draw 3 cards. They will have 1 land drop, of course, left. But they have to craft with... But there's an artifact, so... card for each artifact, so they will be drawing 3 artifacts this turn. Because they have 3 artifacts here, and... I mean, 3 cards, and now, of course, they don't have any... Yeah, I can just... dominate this quite nicely. Now they don't have the pump up for this thing, so I can just attack with. The thing is, if I want to use my mana efficient, actually, you know, let's do this. I'm gonna sack one of these and see what I draw. They might have another wrestler because they have a priority there. Okay, well, this is a good one. I'm not going to use the rock slide this turn. So if they have a -2, -0, they have 3 power here. Well, I guess I'm gonna make this into 4 toughness, so they don't have any good blocks even if they have a wrestler up. So this is good. And I think I'm gonna maybe get the guide wing with the helping hand. Probably. Okay, they don't have that great, but I can jump that and take, you know, a lot of damage there still. And I'm going to... Well, there's also the Vanguard of the Rose, actually. Now the Guidewing flies, but it's also possible they have a blocker for it. A 3-1 might be better. Let's take a 3-1. I'm not gonna move the equipment anywhere because I wanna have mana up for this activation. The Panicked Althazar is just gonna deal 2 damage unblocked also. So let's see if that's gonna be able to draw the cliff again. You know, it's of course the braided net, so they can keep tapping now. Yeah, it doesn't actually help too much now because I have so many threats in here. I can also use the deconstruction hammer to kill the Nautilus, kill the braided net, whatever I choose. That's a free attack because it has vigilance. Do they want to deal? Okay, well they can kill... Actually they can only kill the deconstruction hammer. It's not really such a big deal. Oh sorry, Dino-Automaton. Well yeah, it dies. Nothing much I can do about it. They did not choose to pump, so that means they have use for the mana somehow. Well, they do have a cliff too. Not bad. Not bad, but it's probably not enough. Given that I do have the kill on the Nautilus. And now that they actually made this thing into a creature, they can't even tap. They can't even tap anything, so I think this is a win now. Because I can kill this and this. Yeah, it is a win. So let's do this here. And let's do... Oh, I don't have quite the mana. The equip is 1. I can't kill the wrestler, but if I attack now with everything... if they block here, I mean they can't, they must block these, if they jump this, and yeah, I mean it is going to be, this basically forces them to block the Monstrosaur with the braided net, because now it will trample over this thing. And now if braided net blocks here, and then they have to jump block. Actually this is gonna still allow them to... No, this is trampling over 3 damage. Yeah, this is gonna be lethal. I forgot that it's also gonna deal 3 extra. Okay, that is a nice hand. They mulligan, they are on the play. Whether I'm gonna play the tapped land. Okay, they go to 5. That is going to make things, of course, easier to me, but yeah, it's not easy to necessarily see. Okay, with the untapped land there, I do think I'm gonna do this now. Because that guarantees me the 2-3 curve regardless. They can, well, I mean, they did mulligan to 5, so trading 1 for 1 is fine. I guess this can become a creature later in the game, but there's a lot of time before that happens. But if I flood out too much, and they can kill, for example, this thing too, if I can't apply any pressure, they can dig out of this model to 5, but this is not gonna do anything like that. Also, I have the pickaxe, which gives me the mana for the hatcher, which I now can play on the next turn, so I think this might be game over. Unless they have another discard effect, like, well, it would have to be the visits, or it would have to be the bat, but I can kill the bat, so... Yep, let's have this quickly over. This could be one of the fastest events, but of course depends on how this match is gonna continue, but this game was non-game for the opponent. Well, I saw 2 black cards. I don't think I have a reason to change my deck composition right now. Let's ship the same one. Well, I don't think I'm gonna keep a 6-lander, so let's mull this time, and this is much better. Animpakal guaranteed on turn 3. I think I wanna guarantee it. This would be really good, this Ancestor's Aid though, but if I don't draw a 3rd land, I know I could still use this to get the Animpakal up. And if I do draw any land in 3 draw steps, that's pretty much all I need. So I'm gonna gamble here a little bit, because the 8 can give me the treasure token for the Animpakal. And I might even go for this on turn 2 if they tap out on some ground guy or anything. Okay, well, no problem anymore, I got the 3rd land. Do they have an upgrade? If they do, they didn't want to use it. Okay then. Should I offer something else before, playing the Animpakal? I think I should play a pirate right now. I'm gonna first just do this if they want to use the removal on the Guidewing, be my guest. I'm gonna do this now and just see if this survives. I do think though that if they had a dead weight, they would have used it on the Guidewing. But maybe they have the -5/-5. Okay, still no spells at all. A 4th color. Oh, maybe even more than that. That would explain the mulligan to 5 in the first game if they are playing many colors. But let's see if it's charmed. Okay, I don't know now what it is gonna be, but now this is of course easy thing to do. Like now, I could jump this guy, but I also don't think it's necessary. I'll let them trade with the pirate or eat the gnome for free. That said, I don't have a dino. This is gonna deal only 2. Okay, let's have a change of plan. Plans do change. If I had a dino in my hand, I could have saved this for more damage than 2, but now this is better because I actually can use the Ancestor's Aid. Of course, this if it survives, it will just, win the game by itself. I get 2 gnomes, 3 total gnomes attacking plus these, and I have the backup Ancestor's Aid if they want to make some kind of block that would sort of eat my guys. This will be a 3 for is my first pick in the draft going to finish or going to end the draft? Yeah, this was one of my fastest videos. I mean, is this even 1 hour? I don't know about it now, but yeah. So it seems to be like around 50 minutes, a little bit more. Well, I guess the matches 1 and 3 were really fast, but I guess my bad patch of my own. Well, it wasn't a bad patch of runs, but I had some mana issues in some of the recent draft events. But this was, of course, just perfect, and even the opponents had the problem, so I got 3 wins. But I think this deck was good enough to be able to, just win normal games when people don't have mana issues. I think I had enough removal to make it like a still deal with some of the problem things the opponents might have, and I have had a good mana curve. I had a couple of bomb rares in here, and some of these evasive things to kind of keep the pressure on. So it was a pretty decent deck, and I'm happy to now get the trophy again. Let's claim the prize and wrap up this probably my shortest draft video in quite some time. I don't know when did I have less than 1 hour of a video length, but here you go. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.